AI is taking over the entire job domains and everything. Like AI is everywhere. You hear it and there's AI. So how is AI basically helping in your job profile?
So in recent one of the interview, Masters Union founder had also told that AI is a disruptor in every industry. I personally believe that current society and people who is considering AI as their fear, who will take up their job, rather than that, they should consider them or AI as their partner or as a pal or friend of them, because AI is something which human has made, not something where AI has made human, right? So why should we be fear of something which we have made?
Hi everyone, welcome back to iTeam BTech CSE podcast. I am Sanya Kapure and today I am with our guest Mr. Ayanjan Saha, who is an recruitment and a lead marketing consultant at Freshly Meals UAE. He has won various intercollegiate B school competitions in various IIMs as well. So let's begin with our questions. While I was scrolling your LinkedIn profile, I've come across that you have switched over various job roles. So I just wanted to ask that how is the learning experience and how do you exactly grasp it, and and how does it help you when you switch your career roles?
So coming to that, if you see, the job roles were not exactly full-time job roles. Those were into life projects and internships. To full-time job role, only two, three majorly are there over a span of 3 years now. So learnings which I did mainly for the internship part, if you can say, to get different vertical knowledge, because management was something new to me, had been science PCM as at 11th and 12th. So I wanted to explore which I was fit in, mainly HR, sales, marketing, operation. So in order to get the practical knowledge being given, beside being given the theoretical knowledge by our learned professors, I had explored in multiple ways, multiple places. What learning I grasped from there was that every domain is equivalently successful and interesting in their own way. It's only that where your personal interest lies. And I was fortunate enough that I got the relevant opportunity, and from there I deduced HR and marketing as the specialized field which I would like to go ahead with.
Okay, so it is really true that internships actually help you tackle that specialized thing that you want to pursue. Being a first year student, I find myself to be very confused and lost in this whole spectrum and domain of various job roles and opportunities that we are getting. So were you like, I feel that you must be in the same similar situation that I am in right now, like you were in back in your college days. So how did you tackle it? Like, was there any fear and how did you overcome that fear?
So I can understand it's a very normal human nature. So what I would like to suggest to everyone is that you should take suggestion and help from your professors and your seniors, because they are the people who on day-to-day basis are going through or have gone through in recent times. So same thing at work for me. We were assigned seniors as mentors and professors as well, whom I had consulted. I had transparently told them what all is going on in my mind, because if you try to hide the things there, then they won't be able to guide you properly. So everythingly open up to them transparently, and it is very important that while studying or going through your curriculum, find a little bit of interest in what attracts you more, or where you don't feel burdened or forced to work in the domain or the area where you enjoy actually doing. For example, if you enjoy doing coding, for example, it's a therapy for submitted. So if you like doing coding, then spend time in coding, explore in that one. But if you like to test the programs or test the finished products being done by the coder, become a product manager in the long run, then go in that one. So little bit of interest you need to figure out on your own. But saying that, definitely professors and your seniors are the best people you can bank.
Okay, so transparency is really the key to actually reach that level. Yes. Okay, so moving up, I have one more question. Is that AI is taking over the entire, job domains and everything. Like AI is everywhere. You hear it, and there's AI. So how is AI basically helping in your job profile?
So in recent one of the interview, Masters Union founder had also told that AI is a disruptor in every industry. That is very much true. But saying that, I personally believe that current society and people whom who is considering AI as their fear, who will take up their job, rather than that, they should consider them or AI as their partner or as a pal or friend of them, because AI is something which human has made, not something where AI has made human, right? So why should we be fear of something which we have made?
Exactly.
So it's how I see that is that you master, maybe for example, if you were mastering in preparing the food or a recipe for that sake, currently after the intervention of AI, you master how you can give swiftly the prompts and instruction in order to train the AI to do the same work, rather than seeing it as a competitor who is taking up your preparation job. So you need to master AI and control it in your terms through the prompts and instruction which you're feeding it. So a simple, straightforward example: if you get a pet, for example, a dog, it's not that on the very first day, if you listen to you all the instructions, you train it over the exact, you get a trainer to train them. Then gradually it gets used to the type of instruction you gave, and then it becomes a friend of yours. So that is how you need to treat AI as a friend of yours rather than as a competitor or job eater of yours.
Okay. So I feel that a little bit of prompt engineering would cost us no harm. Okay, so how did like the AI integration or like in your job at Freshly Meals UAE? So how are you using AI over there as like in that section or in that industry or in that field?
So I'll give two broad aspects where they prominently use AI. One, where humanly previously, if you want to do some marketing strategies or maybe capture through some promotional ads or stories on social media platform, you definitely need to sit and brainstorm on ideas. Currently also we do the same. But there, in order to save the time, we are trying to master the other way around, how to give the relevant prompts and refine our prompts to get the market trending ideas, because the time which will take to analyze the data which we have from our competitors will be comparatively very time consuming. What AI will do automatically based on the instructions which you are giving. So marketing ideas in terms of grasping consumers' attention, generating leads mainly in the performance marketing area is what we are banking and utilizing AI very efficiently and promptly. Second, in the production area where I mean, where Freshly Meals had been focusing, and also the meal plan industry banks on and guides the newbies to focus on is the production head. So in the production, automation and AI's intervention is a key, because based on the prompts and the data collected from the customers, they process it, simplifies it, and puts it ahead to the chefs in order to start processing the food. So these are the two specific areas where AI, we as a as an organization are increasing.
So actually, our curriculum holds a lot of events where we have to participate. Like the students have to participate in various hackathons or industry events or any projects as such. So while that only, like I was literally stalking your LinkedIn profile, and there I found that you as well have participated in a lot of events and competitions. So what tips and what are your secret tips and like the things that you would really gladly share with us in order to actually win and take a step ahead?
So this is like you are asking me to open up my secret book.
A little bit.
Yes. So mainly I do this under the mentorship program on TopMate and Unstop to the students, but definitely more than happy to share with everyone. So see, whenever you are participating in hackathon or maybe a case study based competition, or for technical ones, coding based maybe competitions or startup ideas, you need to analyze and understand what is going on in the market. More than that, problem statement which is in hand of yours, that you need to analyze and understand, because that is how I used to spit. If for example I get the problem statement today and 5 days later I have to submit it and present it, I spend good amount of 2 to 3 days completely corely on research, because that is the key. And after ChatGPT, Gemini and other AI platforms which are coming, it's very easy to get the relevant links. And not only so, just give the prompts, get the information, present it. You can't do that, and you shouldn't rather do it. You get the relevant links, hyperlinks, and the sources where you can go by consuming less time of yours, which you have to do manually, then research on your own. Understand the problem, project it, check its feasibility based on the hypothetical or similar type of real-time situations which is happening in the industry, and then start preparing on the last 2 days of your projection. Because once you have the fundamental or the base clear and concrete with you, then on top building will become very smooth.
So I have a follow-up question on this. Like we BTech students attending 24-hour hackathons and other competitions. So the time over there is really limited. Like unlike those 5 days or one or week-long competitions, in a 24-hour competition, we don't have much time to research and to go at that level of depth. So what will be the exact strategy, or like just a flow of how I should work efficiently in order to actually win or achieve that desirable state?
So first, let's go in the easy way, where you are participating in a team. So there, mainly you need to designate it efficiently and prominently. You actually need to form a team with those people rather who have specialization or well expertized knowledge in different types of field. Because in hackathon, if you have a limited time and limited resources to research upon, their designation of the work and the field will be helpful. So that will save a lot of time. At the same time, at the same position, can research on 6 different topics with the 6 different people. So maybe individually, if you do it in 6 hours, it will get done within 1 hour. But proper allocation based on the expertise of the individual is what should be the primary focus. Second, coming to other scenario, if you're working individually, then I would suggest anyone that it's not preferable or suggested to directly jump into the hackathon. Do mock hackathons. See other competitions or get in touch with the competition winners who have gone through those process. Understand what they have done. At not directly adapting or replicating it, but creating a framework of your own, how you will go through it, creating a mock situation. For example, I'll give a relevant one. Before writing any entrance exam, you prepare, you write mock tests. Even before giving your boards, you do pre-board examination, right? You prepare yourself, you train your mind and brain how to react and respond in those situations. So that is how you should do your homework well before participating in the actual 24-hour. You go through the mocks, then the drilling will happen, and then you will have a structure. If this and this happens, this will be my flow, and you follow that funnel or template. Then you will be saving on your time. And also you need to keep in mind that all your peers are also going through the same process. So in case you miss out something here or there, you shouldn't not fear, I will say. You shouldn't repent, because there will be something or the other things which your peer would have also forgot to hint. So that is the main thing. Do mocks before you actually participate in the work and create your own flow.
So I'm really taking all those pointers and I will be inculcating this in my future hackathons. So thank you so much for those tips and tricks. I have noticed that you even got a set of other skills, which is, I must say, acting, then dancing, martial arts. So can you just tell me a little bit about how those skills help you in your work life and in your personal growth as well.
Starting from the basic thing of martial arts or maybe acting and dancing as well. Once you perform in front of multiple people, right, and the pressure or the stage fear which you have, and in the work life of mine, when you address a team, when you get a project, the pressure which you have in terms of designating the work or maybe delivering it to the output level,
Yeah. It's like you must.
yeah, that gets stabilized because you are gone through already those two scenarios multiple times. So that is something which gets stabilized. Mental stability and confidence gets boosted up.
Okay.
After that, specifically for martial arts, I'll say health is the primary thing for anyone, right? If your health doesn't permit, you can't do anything. So practicing martial arts and staying healthy has helped me also get going in work culture. In get going in my daily work life. Like every day morning, if I am, you know, if I am sick or if I am lethargic, I won't be able to deliver the output which the organization I'm associated with is expecting. So if I am regularly participating and practicing martial arts, I will be remaining fit on an overall basis and my mental health will be energized. So then that will help me contribute to my full potential.
Oh.
So, and also I believe extracurricular, obviously this falls in, or hobby part as you categorize. This is something every individual should have in order to refuel themselves over the weekend, and maybe then reading happens over the week. Because if a person goes on through the same monotonous daily routine, then somewhere or the other, how much ever that person likes their work, there will be a fatigue which will come in their day-to-day process. So that's it, how I split. Refuel yourself in the weekend and drain it out in the weekdays.
So, like having extracurricular, and that is actually the key to keep yourself motivated and consistent, right? So, talking about motivation and mindset, I want to know that one core principle that you hold, having, like, because I've been noticing that, you've been exploring various different job roles and stuff. So, what is that one core principle that you stick on, or that one mindset? Can you please elaborate and, enlighten more about it?
One thing which I had been following, uh, no matter how difficult your work is, you need to have a mindset that may it be for certain time period. You need to set that on your own. You need to stick to it no matter whatever happens. Because I'll tell you, my first ever campus job from after my graduation in BBA from Press Bangalore, it was into stock market sales, cold calling sales. And it was the period of 2020 when COVID was on peak.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, if you are entering such an job where you know that whenever you pick up and call someone, there will be abusive words or ignorance or just randomly cut the call on your face, scenarios will occur. Being mentally prepared for those is what I believe is the key thing which I had been following, irrespective of situation, and not bringing in personal emotions, getting connected to those situations so that I break down is what I had been following. So being mentally prepared and being mentally strong and be ready to accept anything which comes in front is what I had been following, and I suggest others as well.
Okay, so finally, I have one last question. If you had to leave one piece of advice to our students where creativity, confidence, and the skill and the career skill that we are pursuing on, if we have to blend in all those things together, what exactly piece of advice would you leave to us?
Making yourself successful as a personal or in your profession.
I feel that both of those factors are very interdependent on each other. If I'm personally very fit and confident, and that creativity thing is there within me, I just want that how I should inculcate it in my professional life in order to have a successful and that crystal clear on top position that I was aiming for.
Right. See, that's the thing, right? When you refine your question, you answer your own question through the questions you asked. Right? So that is how you had answered very well your question itself. That rather than focusing on the professional success and aspect of everything and having a professional gain motive from everything, you need to work on yourself. If as an individual, if your overall personality is very not charming, very pleasing to others, and you are on top of everything, you are very well satisfied with your own overall personality, that will definitely make a positive impact on your professional life. So anything you do, don't see it as a professional gain, rather see it, be selfish, rather than consider it as a personal gain and personal development. Here, I would like to quote one of the saying of Shah Rukh Khan, that he had said that in this world, just think good about yourself. Don't think bad or anything. Just think good about yourself. So in this manner, I feel he's trying to portray that if you just focus on yourself being good and don't even think anything about others, not bad, not good, nothing, world will become a better place to stay, where you as an individual are just focusing on yourself and grooming up yourself. So in that format, everybody will focus to become a better person and have a competition within themselves rather than having competition amongst others and trying to put them down.
Okay, so at the end of the day, it is competition within myself.
Yes, it is you who matters rather than anything else.
Thank you so much, Eden sir. You have surely, opened our eyes in thinking that, career paths are not just one straight vertical line, but rather it's all about experimentation, going bold, and, just getting to know yourself and being who you are. So thank you so much for this enriching session. And hope you guys actually loved our podcast and have gained a lot of insights from this. So this is Sanya Kapure signing off right now. And stay tuned and stay excited for the next podcast as well. Follow our social media everywhere. And yes, be excited, stay hungry, stay foolish, and just do it. Bye bye.